it is quite confusing. I mean, we're multi-parted. We have so many different parts within us. And so it can be difficult to find that one. Is this the right one? Or is it the
Yeah.
voice? Is it the self-doubt? Is it the fear? Is it, which is
Mm,
it that is
mm,
actually my voice of intuition? And so
mm.
what I've discovered on my journey is that it is really a case of sitting with myself and really, really tuning in and getting to know all the different voices so that I know when those old stories come up, and like you called them, old records, those old narratives come up, which
Mm,
I'm like, oh, I've seen, yes, this is the one. I know
mm,
this one. This one's really trying to keep me safe. And oh, yeah, I can see, yeah, that one. I've seen
mm.
that one many times, and it's, gets come through fear. So it's about really starting to learn to identify these.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think, there's, well, for me, there's probably two or three that on repeat. And the only way I can detangle what's true and what's not true is just that awareness of it, and that just takes time as well. Um, yeah, I mean, even if you think about, uh, for example, childbirth, I guess, inherently, I think we all do kind of know what's right for us in our bodies, yet external factors often take over, which can be challenging as well. But that inherent kind of wisdom of the body is definitely there, and again, we're not taught to tune into that. As we were kind of centuries ago, which is challenging.
Yes, yeah. And that's a really good point, that we're not taught to value
Mm,
our
yeah,
own inner knowing.
yeah,
We're taught to differentiate to people outside us that might have more knowledge or might be more credible, or, and so in our lives, we constantly give away our power. We're giving away our power to everybody outside of ourselves, thinking they know more. Some of the voices which I see that come up consistently, with just in my line of work, are, they know more than me.
yeah,
Or, these
yeah,
kind of voices where we start to, really doubt that we are at the same level or on a par with other people. They must know more than me. They must have more knowledge. They must have,
mm,
which then chips away at our inner knowing.
yeah, yeah. Are there any exercises or skills that you think you can kind of cultivate to start to really use? I mean, I just always love breaking the word down, inner intuition to your inner tutor, your inner guide, and not only your guide but your protector. Like, there's often times when you just have a feeling of like, that doesn't feel right. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to turn left at this road, not right. And,
Yeah.
all those kind of protectors. So, it's such a valuable, like, it's your protector and your guide. I mean, is there anything that we can do to kind of really start to hone in and cultivate it, apart from, I guess, the awareness of those other voices? Obviously, that's a big part of it.
Um, what I love to do is to do a daily practice of tuning in to intuition, my intuition.
Mm,
So to sit there, and this is what I'd recommend for anybody who out there who's wanting to get more in touch with what their inner tutor might be telling them,
mm,
which is to tune in and just ask themselves the question, what do I need to know right now?
mm,
What do I need to know right now? And you can ask yourself that about your life, about your business. You can ask yourself that in specific contexts, and then lean into the space afterwards. And it's, we're not used to creating so much space. We're not used to being comfortable with the pause. So that in itself is a practice of becoming comfortable with just being in that almost emptiness, okay, where we're
mm,
not doing, but
mm,
just becoming really, really comfortable with
mm,
leaning in and seeing if you can see what comes up. Is it sensations? Is it voices? Is it an inner knowing? What comes up? How does it appear for you? And there's no one size fits all. Like, it's completely different for every single person. So how does it show up for you? And it's in that practice of regularly sitting with yourself and asking yourself that question every day that you
Mm,
start to become familiar.
mm,
Oh, okay, this is it. And then
mm,
it can become an evidence base, because once you start following some of those nudges, those inner nudges, I mean, you can almost like test yourself. You can start following them, and then you can start, oh, right, okay, that was something which gave me benefit. Therefore, this builds the evidence to start trusting yourself more. So it's almost like, don't trust it. You can build up the evidence. You don't need to trust it just for the sake of trusting, although that's wonderful if you can. But you can also build up an evidence base for yourself.